Welcome to the Million Dollar Magic Podcast, where Jennifer Jones talks to industry leaders in the real estate world and beyond. From scaling businesses to manifesting health, wealth, and happiness. It's time to unlock your next level of success.
Hi, everyone. I am Jen Jones, and I am here today with the amazing Maryam Koochaki. So, Maryam, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into real estate? What's your background?
Yes, so I've moved to Canada in 2017, and my husband and I were looking for some houses. We got to meet you. We purchased our first home with you, and that's how the journey started.
Now, where did you come from originally? Do you want to give people your background?
Absolutely. So I'm Persian. I moved to US when I was 16, and I grew up in Michigan. So I have a lot of family members there. And I was visiting a friend in Canada. That's how I ended up coming here and met my husband here and got married here.
Wow. And you are now a Canadian citizen as well.
I am.
And you had to sing "Oh Canada" for that, did you?
I had, yeah, from the Zoom call.
I love that. That's so good. Okay, so you come out, you look at houses. I met you. I was immediately like impressed and just like touched by your heart and your energy. I feel like you've always been one of those like truly kind,
Oh,
patient, loving people. So it was something
thank
that really
you.
stood out for me.
Thank you so much. And I feel the same when I met you because I remember like driving Richmond Hill area and then looking at agents and the different practice that they do. And until I met you, and it was like, oh wow, this real estate can be very professional. You can actually build a business through it, and you can actually treat it differently. So that's how, yeah, we got to meet you and how we started in 2019. Yeah.
And your husband at the time, he was in construction.
Yeah.
And what is it that kind of like was that moment you thought, okay, I'm just going to do this?
I love interior design. As you know, I'm so passionate for interior design. I love people and I love homes. So everything kind of blend together, right? Everything matched together. And I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. I actually had a experience in sales before back in Michigan. However, doing real estate was something completely new, and I love it since day one.
Yeah, which is so special.
Yeah,
And for you, I would say like this has been how many years now?
6 years.
6 years, which is insane.
Yeah.
For you, it was more of a slow burn. Like some people come in, they take off really quick. Other people come in and they don't succeed and they get out. For you, I feel like it's been like this slow burn. And even in a down market, as things have, corrected, there's been less sales that have happened over the past 3.5 years. You've continued to increase your sales during that period where things have been tougher. So, walk me through kind of your journey as you came into real estate and how you started to gain the success.
Definitely, I would that the slow rise will be something that comes with experience, right? Getting to know. I know, like you mentioned, like fake it until you make it. I had to make it. For me, I had to see proof. I had to see that experience, and I think that's why, like, I keep like my follow ups. My clients know I'm always like following up with them. I stay genuine. I care, and I invest emotionally with clients. And I think in our real estate business, you have to have that empathy, and you have to have that firmness and emotion, like all in one package to be successful and be quick.
Yes, super quick, right? Responsiveness. And I think it's interesting. Like most people would look at it and say, well, how can someone who's so warm and lovely and empathetic do so well in sales? Like, don't we need to be like these aggressive salespeople? And for you, that has never been who you've been. You've always been this authentic person of love and patience and kindness. And you're the most exceptional person when it comes to like really caring about your clients, doing special things for them. So, do you want to walk me through some of that?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned before, like their big whys becomes my big why. So example, I know a client, she loves to cook. So we walk into the kitchen and she's like, this is my kitchen. I can see myself cooking. And I immediately picture that. And that becomes the fuel of my negotiations, of my drive. And I have to have it. She wants it. We'll do whatever we can to make it happen for them, for
I
all
love that.
clients.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too. We had feedback from a client recently that you worked with maybe about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and you just worked with them again and sold their place. And what was that feedback that we got? Because I found that was just so fascinating.
That was very fascinating. So there were clients we worked with back in 2020. Um, like it was just a little bit right after my real estate, and so since then I haven't worked with them until this year. So it was, all it was great that they come back. So I love referrals. That for me that means that that's a good, successful business when you're getting the referrals and trust. And this year, she just messaged me and she said, I'm amazed how you actually grew into your, with experience and how things you're more confident. It comes to, real estate. And she was very happy to use our team again. And again, another like happy clients. That's so important for us. I think that's why I resonate with the team so much. And I'm so happy I started with the team 2019, and because we all have the same mindset. I know you mentioned about the mindset. That was huge. That was something I had to work on. I didn't have that from the beginning. I didn't know what limited belief is in the beginning with all the coaching we did from the team. And I listen and I observe and I practice that. So that's been a journey. So with my mindset, I'm very protective. The way I talk to myself, the way situation happens, I'm always focusing on, okay, what we can do to make it work, what's next. And, when there's a will, there's a way. I
I,
love that quote
I
and
love
I practice that.
And I think too, it's interesting. We were talking the other day, and you were mentioning about how, like, even in the beginning on the team, like having, other teammates maybe that were challenged and were struggling with mindset, reaching out and wanting to like commiserate and like, oh, these are the things, these are the reasons why it's not going well for me and all of that stuff. And I thought it was your take on it and your action, right? Do you wanna talk a little bit about that? Because I think for people that are listening right now, they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I get it, but how do I actually make that change to success?" Because you and I both know what we're believing, what we're thinking, what we're speaking over our life is literally what we're creating, right? Words are energy, thoughts are energy. We know this now with quantum physics. There's a science behind this. So, what was the action you took when you had this happening in order to protect yourself?
I limit myself. I disconnect myself. I'm really, if it doesn't, I work hard to be where I am right now. And to protecting that mindset, you need to be surrounded with people that appreciate that growth and they have the same mindset. So I limit those people, work and friends, everyone. I have the best friends, Jen. I love my friends. I love my clients. And I feel that's because I have protected that mindset, right? And yeah, that's about it.
I
Yeah.
love it. And I love that, there came like a defining moment of saying, okay, I get it. You're struggling, and I'm working on protecting my mindset and where I'm going. So I can't listen to this right now. Like, I appreciate where you're at. I was there, and I need to focus forward. And how important do you think that is for a new agent or someone that's kind of struggling along in their business?
It's crucial, Jen. There's so much happening in real estate. It has its own stress. You have to manage your stress. You have to manage the up and downs. And if you have that on the side, it's not going to help you succeed. It's a kind of distraction to your way. I do talk to some people, even in our team, if they're struggling with mindset. And actually, I had a talk with one of my colleagues yesterday, and I said, listen, don't be in that worry mindset and make that decision. Be in that mindset that everything's going to work out, because based on that, you're going to find different ways to proceed. And that's a better way to like protecting it. And the way I speak to myself, I know I do my 150%. I'm committed when I work, and they can rely on me. So if something, for example, if a deal doesn't go through, I know we did our best, and I know it wasn't meant to be, and I know something better is waiting for you on the other side. I truly believe that. And it always happens, right? Everything, it always works out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think something that you become, I think, exceptional at is exactly that, like managing your own emotions, staying at an emotional equilibrium, and therefore being kind of the guide to the other agent on the other side, being the guide to the clients in the deal, and keeping focused on exactly what you were talking about, like in the kitchen with your client really, this is their dream kitchen. They're visualizing themselves in there. And for you, you're staying focused on how do I negotiate and get this client this kitchen that they're dreaming about, right? So, how are you doing that? How are you maintaining emotional equilibrium with yourself in challenging situations or where a client's upset or another agent's upset? Like, how do you do that?
When I want something, Jen, I become very laser focused. Like, I have to have it. If this is what my client wants, that means I want it, right? So, um, with that, I think that helps me. I write things down before it happens, right? For example, if I'm stressed at night, I write it down, and then right away I find the solutions A, B, and C,
So
right?
give me an example of that. Like, can you think of a time where that's been something that you've used, and what did you write down? And then what came to you as a solution?
Absolutely. So I had clients like purchasing a home and they needed it to sell, and they were a completely different market. So I kind of write down, so what are the options, what we can do? So, price adjustment, more open houses, more exposure, dropping off MLS sheets at the local bakeries. That helps me to kind of find solution of what we can do. And there's always a way. There's always a way, or like reshoot the place. Let's find like new energy to this space. And that's exactly what I do. And like beginning of the year, before any of these deals happen, I wrote down like this is year is gonna be amazing. These are like I'm going to have so many, I'm gonna meet so many new clients, I'm gonna help so many new families. And that is it. Like you're helping them. I feel when I'm focused on what's best for them and the quality of life that's gonna change, that fuels my energy.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I think it's such a testament to that mindset and focus on, your personal growth as a way to increase your success level. Because if we look at you today comparatively to, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you're a different human being. Like we see the confidence, we see like an evolution of even almost like your spiritual self, the confidence you stand in. So, what would your advice be to, you know, an agent right now that's like, what's the action I can take today that's going to start to affect my future? Like, how we always say in real estate, the action I take today because of the length of closing would show up in 90 days on average, right? So, what's that action that someone could take today?
I would definitely still have a system in place, be organized.
And what does that look like? So, give me, like, what does your system look like?
My having the follow-up boss, I love it. I know which clients I'm going to send listings. Like it just gives me that vision and I love that. And I have to write things down. I love that weekly checkup that we do from the team, right? Just making sure we're 100% at where we should be.
So that would be like the accountability piece. So
Accountability,
like one, having some kind of client retention management system, so like a CRM, making sure that you have that. Two, it sounds like it's accountability. So with like having someone else help hold you accountable to the goals you've set for yourself, right?
100%. Yes. And like this year, like 4 deals that we've done, it was from our previous clients. They came back, which is amazing. And one of them was someone we nurtured for 5 years. Like keep if you have that connection with that client, and absolutely, if that wasn't the right time for them, we understand, and we'll just keep listings and resend sales. We built that connection. And I'm following up. Definitely, I love following up. I send random text messages if I know, for example, if clients into design, if into shoes, or different things, so we stay connected.
So you don't always communicate about real estate?
No, not always real estate. Not always real estate. We cover different things. Yeah.
Right, but I think that's the key. It's understanding you really need to get to know the client, right? This is something that you're exceptional at. It's like it's so natural to you that you don't even realize that that's a rare skill, but that desire to really deeply want to know someone else and know what makes them tick, right? And then to be able to like,
Absolutely.
oh my gosh, there's this amazing shoe sale, right? Or like there's this incredible purse that they love is on sale. Like being able to recognize that, think of them, and then send it to them, I think is like that very special secret sauce, right?
Definitely. And with like knowing the clients, I think that's crucial to know their personality. If they're, for example, excuse me, high D personality, I make
What is
sure
that?
I'm communicating them with them.
And,
Um,
and I'll pause you there for one sec. So for those of you that are listening that have no idea what she's talking about, this is called a disc profile. So there's four distinct personality types that for the most part can describe most people. And people have kind of a dominant number one trait. So what is D? Like just describe in a couple words, what would be a D personality?
they're like very focused investors, right? They want facts and they don't want like long text messages. You want to the point. So yeah. So when I communicate with them, I make sure to the point. So there's nothing like extra. So I manage it, rewrite it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be like your CEO entrepreneur, right?
Mhm.
So we can check on LinkedIn when we're, working with a new client, kind of see what they're doing with their career. What if they were a high I, which is like an influencer? Like, so what do you know about that personality?
I'm like hi, so I'm very kind. I make sure I communicate everything. Everything is in detail. Warmth. I feel like warmth is crucial in real estate, even with the high Ds, right? You
Yeah.
have to have that warmth,
Yeah. The warmth and efficiency. I can
efficiency.
I love that. And the high I influencer is very social.
Yeah,
So that's the difference, right? If you were booking an appointment to go do one showing and one is a D and one is an I, what will be the time difference between the two when you're looking at that property?
I would know exactly like what the D wants, like in details. So I would just send them bunch of listing. I will just go through each listings and I know exactly what he wants. So I'm not wasting anyone's time. I know what he wants to the point. The detail that he wants, if you had like asked me before, everything is already ready to go. With high eye, I'm like, oh my God. So it's more like, look at this kitchen, look at that. Like more, we speak more,
Yeah,
I would say.
exactly. More
Yeah.
talking. So
More talking.
you'll be spending more time in conversation because that's important to them that
Yeah,
they're having conversation and getting to know someone. So I love that.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
then if they were a high S, which I always kind of use the word safety,
Yes,
high S, and something interesting that most people don't realize, the vast majority of the population is actually high S. That would be
that's
the
right.
biggest group. And their number one fear, do you know what that is? Do you
Mhm.
remember what their number one fear is? Change.
Right.
They're afraid of change. So this is someone that works in the same job for 25 years, the same career for 25 years. How would you work with someone that's a high S, that's safety?
Safety. So they already know what's going to happen. The next steps, A, B, and C.
So you're
So
laying
scenario A, scenario B, scenario C, and everything is explained prior to anything happens, right?
that.
So that gives them like peace of mind. And I explain everything. So this is the scenario A, scenario B, scenario C. So I actually went through one of the reviews, and one of the clients who's high C, he said, before anything happens, Mariam lets you know what's going to happen. So that also gives them peace of mind. Because the truth is, like, the whole real estate is like such an emotional journey, right? So not only they're selling their home, right? And then so many things can happen. So if I can eliminate that, the less bump, better
The
for the
better,
clients.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and that's what it is, like, that high S, that safety group, they need that. They need someone like you to be able to lay out all the details and the steps and walk them through it and be patient and allow them to make the decisions in their own time without so much pressure, which can be difficult, with the time limits we're given, right?
Right. And I think patience is the key.
I love that.
Right. There's so many things happen behind the scene we don't know that they have to deal with. We're just seeing the real estate side. So it's crucial to be understanding, having empathy, even if we have like an upset clients, understanding that they're going through so much, give them a little bit of a space, and they come back. And sometimes if they something happened, they apologize, and I said, it's no biggie. It's part of the process. It's no problem, and we move forward. I think for us, it's so important to be smooth as much as possible, and then we can handle other stressful situations like the things that we deal with behind the scene with clients. I don't want my clients to know. I want them to everything's smooth and everything's going to work out. I will deal with the stress. You know what I
So you
mean?
don't yeah, so you're not one of those agents that has the drama with the other agent or the other agent's complaining about their clients and you take it back to your client, right?
No, no, no. I,
Yeah.
I don't like drama at all.
Thank you. Yes.
No drama in like with personal life or with work. I it doesn't resonate with my path,
I love that.
you
That's
know?
beautiful. And
Um,
then if they were, let's say you touched on it a little bit, but that the last piece of the disc again, so it's DISC, the last personality is that C, right? That conscientious personality. So this is someone who's potentially an engineer or an accountant, right? I always say like, you know, we could reach out and say, these are the steps, and they'll fill it in with 12 more steps that even we didn't think of, right? Like something like that. So, how do you work with that kind of client? How do you prepare if, let's say, you're going out to an appointment, a listing appointment, or to go show property? How do you prepare to work with a client like that?
Detailed, recent stats, numbers. I'm actually taking out clients tomorrow to show a listing cohort. And I was amazed by how organized she is. She actually sent me a list of what she wants and a little bit like a biography about them and the things that they're looking for. That also gives me an idea of what kind of
Wow.
personality. Incredible, incredible. So when I'm working with someone like that, I make sure I have my recent sales, I have my recent stats, I have photos, all the little details that is important to them because I know they need to go through it, right? To know
Yeah.
exactly what is to to make them more confident to move forward.
And I love that too, that you touched on like the stats, like that importance of the amount of detail that we think we need. You can take that and multiply it by 10, and that is dealing with a high C personality, right? I was trying to think of what else with a C. I feel like you're going to spend a lot more time, right? So you would be factoring that in. And then what are the other details? Like if you're taking out a buyer, so for those agents that don't know, when you go out and show a property, what are the main questions a client is going to ask about that property? Like, what are the
Age of
like,
everything.
age of everything?
Age of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things you can actually have it in handy, and actually that helps you. Like, oh, that's the age of furnace, roof, windows, age of the house. When was the renovation done? Like all the details I can get prior to showings to let my clients know. So
Exactly.
it's
And
not a surprise.
that is why you are where you are with your high level of success, right? And working with every client like so well. It's amazing, just yeah, you're just unbelievable working with clients. It really is a gift. And I would see you just continuing to like take off and evolve to some crazy level in sales. I think the other piece for you is that like mentoring and helping teach and train other agents because of the journey that you've come through. This hasn't been quick success. So it's something that you've really spent time on. I feel like you really went to learn and master each thing in like more like a high C versus just like running through and figuring it out as you go, right?
I converted, Jen. I feel like I started with the high C and I went high D. Um, I have it both, and exactly that's why a lot of agents that I talk to, especially if they're like in the beginning years of the real estate and they have challenges, I've been there. I know it. I know the pain, and I can help you move through that step more quickly. So I'm always happy. I always, if I even if I feel someone in the team is struggling, I will reach out. They will get a phone call from me. I care. I love our JJ family. And I feel like because I went through those emotion and those challenges, I can understand them and I can help them move forward rather than just saying, oh, I know like that sucks. That's all I know how it was in the beginning. Yeah, it's gonna take time. No, like things can get a lot better. Real estate is magical. I always believe real estate is magical. That's something if I always like people will remember me saying that's something real estate is magic. It is magical. It's incredible. You're helping so many families to change the quality of their life. There's just so many exciting, like real estate is exciting for me, right? I have a client in Georgina that she was looking to open for her own hair salon in the house, and she got all the license. So I'm friends with her on Instagram. It just makes me so happy to see her successful and to see her happy and like exciting events at the home. It's just not selling and buying. It's just the quality life you're helping the client to reach.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, like, we've obviously even together dealt with like, clients going through divorce or people passing away and those changes. Um, and I think you're one of a rare breed of agent that you're not transactional. So those like just your love and compassion and the way that you move through those deals. So what are you focusing on? Like let's say we were dealing with a difficult divorce, husband wife selling a property. How do you manage those or like help to guide them, I guess, through the process?
If we're working for both of them, right?
Yes.
I think just so not as like bubbly in
No,
the beginning.
right.
I'm more like, I understand this is a change, like more like an empathetic way, right? Like more empathy. And just helping them. Okay, so this is part of the process. I'm here for you. If you have any questions, call me anytime. I know this is a hard time. And then like gradually I explain everything more in more like a simple way because I know they're already going through so much. So if I don't hear back from them quickly, I'm not the pushy agents. You have the time, let me know. If they feel comfortable, they come back. I make sure they feel comfortable. That's important for me.
Yeah, it's like
Even
that.
if I'm working with friends, I tell me the truth. I want to know exactly um what it is. And I feel like once you build that trust, they can, everything goes more smoothly for
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
And what about when someone says you have to find balance? Like obviously, you're an entrepreneur and I always say it'll take like 5 years to build a business properly,
Yeah.
which would kind of tie into your timeline even of like really getting to that piece about it. So, what does balance mean to you and how do you establish that?
I think balance is important for sure. For me, because I love what I do, sometimes like I enjoy it. I don't really feel like I need that balance because I'm really passionate. Like the clients become my friends. It's exciting, right? For example, like the last few months, like I was on a go, go, go since April till I would say June. And I just went and visited my family in Michigan for a few days, and that was my recharge. And I came back, I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. I miss it. I miss work.
Yeah, I love that because it's for you, you're loving what you're doing, so you're not really working, right?
No, no, it's
So,
exciting
yeah.
for me.
What about the self-care aspect of it? Because you are, when you're maintaining emotional equilibrium for other people and that's your focus, you're also absorbing some of their energy. So, how are you processing that and sort of like pushing or, you know, brushing it off? How is that happening?
That took some time in the beginning, definitely that I could feel that stress. Right now, I do still feel it because it can be like a stressful situation. However, I do go for a walk. I love gardening. I do things. I love listening to music. I write things down if something bothers me or it stresses me out. I write it down so it's like out of my mind, and then that I can focus on the solution. So what we can do. I always like, what can I do? What can I do? What we can do. Um, so just things like that. It does take time, and I know when I'm working with clients, and they know that I'm doing my best. Like every single like solution that we can think of, we will think of. That way, that also gives me peace of mind, so I can put my head in bed knowing that I did my best.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What about what do you think how much impact would physical well-being and physical health have even on your real estate business?
It's crucial. So, I don't drink for like years. I really care of what I eat, what I drink. I
So
make sure
what would you focus on eating? Like for you, what does that look like being focused on eating?
like clean eating. I don't go to restaurants as much. I love cooking. That's also part of like the meditation for me. Like I love, having people over. I do walking. I love walking. I definitely want to do more workouts this year. That's one of my commitments, to do it consistently. Um, I sleep early. Yeah, basically, and I don't drink at all.
Yeah, so you've really narrowed down on it sounds like eating or ingesting something and then sort of, you know, spending that moment of how is this actually affecting me and is this helping me in a positive way or a negative way? You're weighing
Definitely, definitely. You want to be sharp for clients, right? And also for yourself.
what would your sort of week look like,
Like
that you
with
plan out?
showing, so I know like what days I'm following up. What sometimes I preview houses for clients, especially if they're like further away. I go and I'm very detail oriented, as you know, Jen.
Yes, I
So any sense of smell, anything like that, I do that with showings. So it's not just showings. I research the area, right? What are the recent sales? So while we're at the showing, so the clients already know what are the recent sales. So these things take time, right? To do the research and
yes, and you do the, like and we've talked about this in the team, like, Hey, what's your preferred method of communication? Do you prefer to
Yes.
text, email, or a phone call, right? And how important would that be when you're communicating with a client?
That's so important. For me, it's so important. Communication. I know for my high Ds, they don't want a phone call, they want a quick text, right? My high Cs, I grab the phone and I explain. And also, they want to meet in person. I
Mhm.
have a
Yeah.
client, we went through the recent stats. I had an open house. I went in earlier to just tell her, this is normal. These are the stats, just to for her to get that like one-in-one person connection. And communication is so important because that's how you build the trust as well, right? Because you're listening to them, like how, you know what I mean?
Yes. And then how fast in this kind of market where a seller typically isn't getting as many showings, how quickly are you getting them like feedback on a showing or open houses?
Right away.
Yeah,
Everything is done right away.
right.
They like the clients know, I will message the agents right away and I will let them know that I messaged the agents right away. And once I hear back, I will let you know. So my clients are always in constant communication of
Yeah.
again what's gonna happen. So they know I've messaged the agent, but they don't know that I messaged the agent. So I make sure I relay that information that they know like I'm following up, no worries, these are the feedbacks.
Yeah.
And then based on the feedbacks, and I'm honest with the feedbacks, right? We think like what we can do with the feedback. If something we can improve, we'll definitely do it.
Yeah. Like if it was like the house smells like dog, that's
Yeah,
something we can improve. If it was, I don't like the layout, it's very unique. There's nothing that someone's gonna be able to do with that, right?
yeah.
So,
And especially with like with listings, we want to make sure it's always spotless, it's always welcoming. Open houses the same way, I always have my speaker. Always have my suites. It's always like a welcoming experience
yeah, I love that.
for people to come.
Well,
Yeah.
you are so exceptional. You've done
Thank
so
you.
incredibly well. I'm so proud of you and you're just watching your journey. We appreciate you so much. Now, if
Thank you.
someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best method of communication for you?
Call, text, Instagram,
Okay, and what's
definitely.
your Instagram handle?
So yeah, it's mariam.kuchaki.realtor and my phone number is 416-827-9139.
I love it. And you're covering a very large area.
I
So
do.
you go all the way from Toronto to where?
I've been to St. Thomas.
Yeah, there you go. So basically, Miriam is covering all of South and Central Ontario, right?
Absolutely. If clients wants to go, let's go. It's always exciting to also go to new places, right? So
Yeah,
that's the beauty of real
absolutely.
estate.
Now, any last advice for the agents out there?
Keep going.
Keep going. I love that. That's brilliant.
Keep
Well,
going.
thank you so much. This
Thank
has
you for
been
having me, Jen.
amazing. I adore you, and I can't wait to see who's gonna reach out and wanna connect with you to learn more about, you know, all the incredible mentoring you do for agents on our team and for clients, potential clients that are looking to work with someone who is very detailed, very focused on you and what your needs are, and I'm just so excited to spend time with you today. So,
Uh,
thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Dan.